The college football experience, Mountain West season preview and picks episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, brought to you by our very own Patreon. Yes, score exclusive perks, content and contests, including our NFL win totals contest with $1,000 prize up for grabs. Join today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. That is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Yes, download the Game Time app to get last minute tickets at the lowest prices guaranteed. Use the promo code SGPN for $20. I'm sorry. Use the promo code CFBX. I'm sorry. My mess up there for $20 off. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride. Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience, Mountain West 2023 season preview episode. I'm excited. Hopefully you've listened to all of our other conference previews. We still got the Big Ten and the SEC and the AAC left. But we've got the other ones out, so go listen to those and make sure you check out all 133 college football team solo podcasts, because we're on the path to finishing all 133 before the season kicks week 0. Less than 2 weeks away, guys. Look, perhaps you're wondering just who the hell you're listening to. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
You know, I would be curious. I know NC Nick's answer would probably be Sunbelt, but I would be curious to ask our listeners. I'd be curious to ask the people connected with the college football experience where the Mountain West resides as favorite football conferences. I know this is on the fly, but maybe we'll do that in about 10 seconds here. But I'm joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh.
Let's get it going. We still got regionality here in the Mountain West, you know?
Mountain West is an all-American conference.
They got the heartbeat of the FBS college football blueprint.
They are
within them.
The heartbeat of the West at this point.
They are.
The Pac-12 has disbanded for all intents and purposes. This is the Western Conference. It is
the Western Conference. Let's go. All right, we are joined by third man in the booth, DFS God himself. Remember, week 0 is less than 2 weeks away, folks. We will have a DFS episode out. Don't worry, we got you covered. Give it up for the rooftop IPA drinking, homebrew making, tobacco roll living, the free lock giving, farmer, earn the basketball league MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
There we go. What's up, guys?
I mean, what's up is the season's less than 2 weeks away, and we're finally here. And I wanted to ask you guys, where do you guys, Patty C, where do you put the Mountain West as far as favorite conferences now that these other Power 5 conferences have gotten all wacky?
Well, can we separate P5 and G5, or do we have to do it all together?
You could do both.
Stop the separation, Nick. You know,
Yeah.
I'm part of the problem, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Look, favorite conferences. Do we hate the SEC? I mean, let me answer this personally. The SEC has great football. The Big Ten has great football. I think their expansion makes them the bad guys a little bit.
No, it makes me not interested. I don't give a shit about USC and Michigan State playing. You know what I mean? So like I get way more interested in Sunbelt football. because of it. Now the SEC to me kept a better blueprint than the Big 12 or than the Big 10. Big 10.
Yeah.
You're just throwing teams out there. It's like you took a dart and just threw them at the fucking wall.
I have a rule here, guys. Now, I have a rule that it doesn't necessarily apply for the Mountain West, but you can only be in 2 time zones. Now, Mountain West, they get a pass because Hawaii is in a 3rd time zone. But if you're in more than 2 time zones, you're too big.
Yeah.
What do you think about that rule, Patty?
I like it.
I think that's fair. What is you got? Is Texas Central Time Zone? It's the SEC fine.
It depends where in Texas, right? Because Lubbock is in the
Mountain Time Zone.
Mountain, I think, right?
I'm not sure.
I could
need
be
a
full
map
of
here.
I could be full of shit.
Look,
yeah.
From a conceptual standpoint, I'll say this right off the bat. Obviously, ACC, we grew up on the East Coast. It's going to be up there as a favorite conference. There's a lot not to like. I know Colby.
That's my least favorite conference.
Colby is
boredom at its finest.
Well, it's boring, yes. But you're also, the anti-elitist, I would say. And the ACC is clearly demonstrating once again that it is an elitist conference,
Oh, and how about NC State? Let's talk about the cowards that are
They
NC
are
State.
cowards.
How about this?
To answer your question,
Because they shot down Cal Stanford?
No, but the fact that did you see their vote? Whatever North Carolina does, we'll do. Little bitches.
Who said that?
Now, NC State.
I didn't see that.
Oh, well, anyway. NC State.
Sources. Yeah. I want to see that. But if that is true,
no, that's what's reported. That was I'm not. I didn't come up with that myself. That was being reported.
I mean, that is very pathetic.
Reporting these days is, who's reporting it and who are their sources?
I mean, the Athletic reported it.
What are you drinking there? That looks delicious.
Imagine, you got this guy having a sangria over there. What's going on?
It's just it's a good beer, man.
Oh, he drinks beers out of glasses like some kind of hot shot. That's a coastal elite right there.
Yeah. Source Dundee Athletic. No, honestly, I saw this thing. No,
I'm not saying you're wrong. I haven't seen it.
Well, the irony there is that the Pac-12 was the followers during the pandemic 2020 season. Whatever the Big Ten said, they're going to go with it. So now they have to face the same kind of music.
True. Now, look, I don't want Stanford and Cal in the ACC, so I'm good. Right. I'm good with, but I do think some of the tweets that I've read from people covering the sport saying that by the ACC not expanding, it's going to doom their conference, just like the Pac-12 did. And I do believe that. That's why they need to
North Carolina on board somehow.
They need to
Florida
get
State
no. I don't want them to get Cal and Stanford. I want them to get SMU. That deal is genius for the ACC.
Well, we've seen this before in either the Big East or the Pac-12 or the Big 12 also, where you need a majority vote, or you need 8 out of 12 or 14 or whatever the number is. But schools are going to vote on their own self-interest, not the interest of the conference as a whole. So, like Florida State, for example, they don't give a shit about the ACC. Yeah. All they give a shit about is themselves. So a lot of times it's hard to pass a vote when you have schools going in different directions and voting on different things, their own needs versus the collective needs.
Yeah.
Well, NC State is probably lockstep with North Carolina because the legislature of North Carolina, if it's anything like Virginia, when they demanded Virginia Tech be invited to the ACC, maybe North Carolina is controlling okay, if we're going to the SEC or the Big Ten,
Virginia did block West Virginia. Do people know that history? Virginia blocked West Virginia.
That's on brand.
Well, no, there's something to be said about Patty's point where there's 2 public universities. They're tied more together. In different situations. Arizona State, Arizona, the same thing.
I was going to say, but Washington State, Oregon State, we just saw.
It's not the same. It's not the same per state, but sometimes they are, tied together somewhat.
Why else would NC State? I mean, it's not that there's anything in particular about those 2 schools that makes me think.
And for the record, making me laugh.
I drink lots of canned beer, but if you're drinking, beer at a pool or a beach out of a can, then all day long. If you're drinking a better quality beer, like an IPA, maybe an Oktoberfest, then maybe you pour it into a glass.
Wow. Well, wow. Speaking like that does sound like a Duke fan. All right? That sounds like a Duke fan.
I'll tell you what, though, he's got a point. If you want to avoid the bubble guts, you gotta pour it into the glass because all that carbonation.
If it's a strong beer, yes.
All right,
Nick just doesn't want to bust ass all over his house. Okay,
Yeah.
we got to respect that.
There we go. Look, folks, before we get to breaking down every single, and I still want Nick's answer, but I gotta get us paid first. Want to tell you that the College Football Experience Mountain West 2023 season preview is brought to you by Game Time. Look, Game Time is an app you need to check out. All right, because look, I remember I was in Missoula, Montana, like 10, 12 years ago, doing some stand up. And I thought, hey, guess what? There is a Montana football game going on that everyone's been talking about all week that I was in Montana. Honestly, the whole fucking town was talking about, hey, they play Eastern Washington. It's a huge game. And I tried to look online, sold out, right? Everywhere I looked was sold out online. And I'm sitting there at the bars getting cherry bombed on a Thursday. And I'm like, hey, any of you guys got an extra ticket? I'll buy it from you. I ended up finding a ticket, but it was a pain. It was a huge pain in the ass. I paid like 3 times the amount of what I should have paid for that ticket just to experience Missoula in an awesome environment. My point is though, is that it was a big challenge. And look, buying tickets to your favorite event shouldn't be that stressful. Game Time is fast. It's an easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, whatever, any theater, anything near you, with killer deals on last minute tickets and the best price guarantee. You can stop stressing over the tickets and get started. Start hyping yourself up. Don't worry about the tickets. Start hyping yourself up on the actual event you're going to be going to. And I mean, forget planning months in advance. All right. Cause Game Time is the place for last minute ticket deals. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive flash deals, not details on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. The Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. How about that? So folks, snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app. Last minute tickets, baby. Lowest price, all guaranteed.
Best deal in town. Guaranteed.
Beautiful. I'll be using that this year.
There we go, folks. And remember, as always, to let it ride. All right, we are back on the College Football Experience Mountain West 2023 season preview. So, Nick, where does the Mountain West reside on your favorite conference?
I'm a big fan of the Mountain West, but I do live on the East Coast. So, obviously, ACC and Sun Belt are my top 2. My only problem with the Mountain West is that somebody in the chat alluded to it. They don't play a ton of weekday games. They play some. They play some Thursdays and Fridays, and sometimes the games on Saturdays are on too late.
When I was at Mountain West Media Day, I asked Gloria Navarez, their commissioner, about that because if you go back to like the mid 2000s, first off, Boise State made their name playing on weekdays, and then when they had Utah and TCU and stuff, they would play a ton of weekday games. I would say, if anything, they might have been like one of the catalysts for weekday games. But you're right; they seem like they haven't done as many of them recently. That's interesting. But she'd be interested in that.
Yeah, but with that said, it is a great football conference. I fully support it.
Well, let me ask you this: where is the Mountain West Conference in the group of 5 pecking order? Because
I actually think they're the first as far as like best football product.
Top of the conference. Who would you say it is? Boise, Fresno, San Diego State, Air Force.
You'd probably say Boise, but Fresno did win the Mountain West last season, so you'd probably have
those teams are basically the top of the Mountain West. I mean, I guess you could throw
and the top 5 for the Mountain West can go toe to toe with any other G5 conference, and probably is better than any other G5. The problem is, I mean, the bottom of the Mountain West is pretty bad.
Whoa. I mean, Charlotte lost to William and Mary by 17 at home last year. In the AAC, you have
Charlotte made a bowl game like 2 years ago too.
Okay. Well,
New Mexico's terrible.
But Hawai'i has had really good seasons. Nick Rolovich, they won like 10 games.
Yeah, I would say there's only 2 doormats in that.
UNLV, New Mexico.
UNLV in New Mexico.
Yeah.
Right?
Like traditionally, like right now, Nevada's a doormat. Hawaii probably is also. But okay, you're right. That's fair. That only UNLV and New Mexico are traditional doormats.
Now we didn't even mention Utah State as in the mix for the top 4 or 5 teams.
They're in that mix. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say this. Moving forward, now that the top of the American has moved on to the Big 12, we might see that New Year's 6 or playoff berth awarded to. It's going to be playoff moving forward.
No, but there's an East Coast bias. They're going to go with the AAC.
They might go AAC. They might go Sun Belt, but Mountain West is very much going to be in that conversation, and it shouldn't make them your favorite conference necessarily because they're in that. But in terms of eyeballs and representing the group of 5, you got to love that. And this
here's a good question for you. We have the CUSA, which I guess I'll even exclude them from this. What, between the Sun Belt, between the AAC and the Mountain West, I'm curious who has if you took the bottom, like Old Dominion and ULM,
sure,
Charlotte and probably Rice, Charlotte and
who has the lowest basement? Is that what
Temple? Temple and
Temple's
and
had
South
some
Florida.
good years within the last 5 or 6 seasons.
Sure, but historically they've been kind of ass.
Oh, that's
I
true.
would say, yeah.
Rice, North Texas, Charlotte. The AAC has
I'm saying because UNLV has been ass historically, but New Mexico had some good years in there. Bob Davie had them win 8 and 9 games, right?
Last time they were good was when that when Brian Urlacher graduated. All right.
No, you're wrong there. We're gonna open things up with New Mexico football, but Bob Davies, I thought, had a decent season.
New Mexico's always been an afterthought, but maybe they've been better than I realized.
No, they have been ass lately. They haven't had a winning season since 2016, but they were bowling in 15 and 16. Now they were ass before that with Mike Loxley, but
look, I'm gonna say this. Boise, are they the best remaining group of 5 program?
Yes, they should have gotten the invite before Cincy, UCF, and Houston.
Yeah, they should have.
They've been. I mean, what did I rattle off? They have 7 home losses since 1998. That's fucking insane.
I think hands down they're the best. It's probably not even close.
Yeah, yeah. All right, let's jump into it. But I don't know. I personally think the Mountain West is the best, at least for this year. I think the Sun Belt maybe 5-10 years from now, maybe you could make the argument. I think it's better than the AAC.
I'll say this. I like the Sun Belt more. I like the Sun Belt more for obvious reasons, but Mountain West is right there. All
right, so let's jump into this thing. Let's have some fun. All right, the lowest win total in the Mountain West Conference. We're gonna go game by game and team by team, folks. Is the New Mexico Lobos that we were just talking about. This is one. Now, their offense was terrible last year. The defense was actually good. I previewed this team already. Go listen to the preview. But it's a big year for Danny Gonzalez because he needs to win. Interesting hire with the offensive coordinator Bryant Vincent coming over from UAB. He was their offensive coordinator and interim head coach last year. Before that, he was their OC. And he brought in Dylan Hopkins, the UAB quarterback, who was pretty good. Makes for an interesting season. They return basically nobody on the defensive side of the ball. But talking to Danny Gonzalez, he was very confident that, and talking to Dante Martin, their corner at Media Day, Mountain West Media Day, they were very confident on the defensive side of the ball. If anything, the offense was still Gonzalez was like, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine on defense. But the offense, they went out and got some guys in the portal. And the offense, Bryant Vincent's been good before historically. So I can tell you this. I do lean over.
You think they can double? Do you think they can double their output from last year when they went 2-10? Last year they had wins over Maine and UTEP. None of their losses were by single digits. So
the
this
offense
team
was terrible, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think there's any way when you have 2 returners on defense that you can be as good as last year. I find that hard to believe.
I'm just saying, he seemed very confident that the defense was going to be still good.
He was like,
yeah, our defense is fine. It's the offense that's got to get up to speed.
This is one of those statistical things that is just insanely impressive as far as the discrepancy between the defensive ranking and the offensive ranking. Offense number 131, dead last by a large margin, 228 yards per game. Next closest was Iowa at 251. They're making Iowa look like freaking Tennessee over here. Meanwhile, number 46 defense. That's pretty damn respectable for a really bad team.
Especially considering how bad the offense was.
And they lose Rocky Long, but they're keeping one of Rocky Long's guys that apparently, like with Rocky Long's age, they'd kind of already said like we're giving him more and more, reins, and I don't know. It's going to be fascinating to watch, but I can tell you this: the schedule could be all right, man. I like if the offensive coordinator hire works and Hopkins, who's a decent quarterback, we've seen him at UAB.
They're gonna suck. Get out of here.
I'm on the over. There's
a decent amount of at least winnable games.
Yeah. Okay. So look, the non-con is at Texas A&M, loss. Home to Texas Tech. They lose Jeremiah Oatsvall at their quarterback spot. That is a win for New Mexico. Then you have the
Tech 4-7 at the FCS.
You have
level.
the rivalry game against New Mexico State. Now, New Mexico State, I favor, but I mean, come on, it's a rivalry game. That's a winnable game still. It's in Albuquerque. They're at UMass, very winnable because they only beat one team a year ago, and that was an FCS.
Nobody goes into the McGurk and gets a W. We all know this.
They're at Wyoming, where last time they played there, they did win outright, and I called it as a 17-point dog.
Well, that's a conference game.
I know. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. So the non-con is Tennessee Tech, New Mexico State, UMass, and A&M. I think 2-2 is doable here.
Doable, yes. But I'm going to say 1-3.
Really?
Well, I mean, New Mexico State beat them by double digits last year. And
no, but that's one of the losses.
Well, the at UMass game.
Yeah.
That's, okay. I mean, that's a complete toss up. All I know is it's a far trip.
Regional rivalry. I don't know what you're talking about.
The Roswell Bowl.
That's right. Roswell Bowl. I don't know. This is interesting because this is a massive, like the non-conference is a massive in determining the over or the under here. They're clearly going to lose at A&M. Yeah. And then Tennessee Tech hosting New Mexico and at UMass. Can they get hosting two of those three?
State, yeah.
Or New Mexico State, rather.
I think 2-2.
I'll give you 2-2.
Okay. Then they're at Wyoming September 30th. Now I would favor Wyoming, but New Mexico does play a style of Wyoming never will blow teams out. I feel like, this is still a winnable game to me, but I'll take Wyoming to win. Nick?
Yeah.
Second night of a back-to-back in Laramie.
That's a crazy travel from Amherst to Laramie. They get a bye week and then they're hosting San Jose State. Now this is a little tricky because
a winnable game.
I was in Albuquerque, I think right around October 10th during COVID, and like a fucking gigantic snowstorm came through. So watch out on the weather here. But I will favor San Jose State. I have that as a loss. Patty C?
It's a loss, but it's creeping into the 50. It's not a 50-50 game, but it's a winnable game at home.
Well, so this midseason package of 4 games, you have 2 home games, 2 aways at Wyoming, San Jose State, Hawaii, and at Nevada. I have them winning one of those. They'll probably get Nevada at home. They'll probably get Hawaii at home or maybe Nevada on the road, but I have them going 1-3 in that stretch.
Really? See, I think home to Hawaii, at Nevada, home to UNLV, they could win all 3 of those.
Well, UNLV would be the next
on the next 4 game stretch.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So you got at Wyoming and at Nevada, and then home San Jose State and home Hawaii. Nevada and Hawaii could be wins. I'll ride with Nick because I gave him 2 in the first 4 games. I'll give him 1 out of these 3. So I got him 3 and 5 with 4 games left.
I'll say 1-3. I'll say 1-3 on that 4. But the second 4, I got them winning another one, beating UNLV, and I got them on the over at 4 and 8. And I actually think this isn't a crazy if Hopkins can play at the level I saw him play at Alabama, they could get to 6 because look, Tennessee Tech, New Mexico State, UMass, that could be 3. Then you get that 3-game stretch, Hawaii, Nevada, UNLV. That's 6 right there. Now that would be winning all those key games. But even if they lost to New Mexico State or something, they have beaten Wyoming at Wyoming the last time they played. Or I look at that November 25th game where Utah State comes to town and think, hey, stranger things have happened.
Reminder here, this is the same team that lost to double-digit losses last year at UNLV, double-digit loss at New Mexico State. double-digit loss at Colorado State. This was a very bad team last year. I have them winning 3-game tops. I'm on the under.
Yeah, they suck. Look, historically, they haven't won 4 games since 2016. Prior to that, not many 4-win seasons.
2020, they only had a 5-game season or something. But yeah, okay.
Either way, they suck. Yeah. And then the offense was worse in the country by a mile last year. I think they have a long way to go, and I think I'm on the under as well.
I feel decent about the over. Folks, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Sports Gambling Podcast Patreon. Yes, sign up today for the Patreon to get access to exclusive contests, including the NFL Win Totals contest. $1,000 first place prize on the line there. Besides season-long contests, they also have weekly contests just for the patrons, plus a monthly SGP Stories podcast, completely ad-free and full of behind-the-scenes stories from all the SGPN crew. There's even a Discord channel just for the patrons. Only you can prevent corporate gambling. So do your part and sign up today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Once again, that's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. All right. I am so I'm on the over. You guys are on the under.
Where do you have that program? What's the trajectory there? Up, down, steady?
No, I actually think that's steady right now. I need to see it because we've talked about this. If Gonzalez doesn't get it done, and I like Danny Gonzalez, by the way, he said he would win the Royal Rumble, by the way. And he said he fights dirty. He'll rip tendons. He'll slice ACLs.
Great answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have them flat now too. They haven't proven anything yet.
Yeah.
They have not proven anything. And
the blueprint is there though. Look at the basketball fan base. Like if they could just start winning. I was watching randomly here at the studio. Like we had it on one of the old games and it went over to the next one and it was Texas Tech at New Mexico in like late 90s, early 2000s when Rocky Long had it going. Dude, if there's no pro teams there. The blueprint is there. If they could just start winning games. The fan base, get lit. The pit is awesome in basketball. Let's hop on over and talk Hawaii Rainbow Warriors because we want to talk about a team that I was thoroughly impressed with as the season went along. I know you look and say, wait, what are you talking about, Colby? They were a 3-10 football team. Look at that after the bye week. I really was impressed with Timmy Chang's first year as head coach of the Rainbow Warriors because we knew that it was a late hire. They hired him really late. It was a very controversial one because the athletic department seemed to be botching it. And Patty C was high on them to upset Vanderbilt. Well, they only lost by 53 in that one. But after the first month, after that bye week, they were beating San Diego State 14-13 with a less than a minute left. And San Diego State was able to somehow get in field goal range. I think they had a big kick return. Then they beat Nevada 31-16. They almost won in Fort Collins against Colorado State. They kept it between 1 score in Wyoming. They did get blown out by Fresno. They kept it within 1 score with Utah State. They beat UNLV. And they ended up losing at San Jose State, but it was somewhat respectable. I was really much impressed.
Different team in the
I was really impressed with the development. So
four 1-score losses.
Yeah. So you're telling me that he was able to work on making the line of scrimmage a little bit better. I got a chance to ask him this, and he also said, I was never a head coach before. Timmy Chang said, and he goes, so I learned, where I thought my weaknesses were, and I think I was able to attack those in the off season. So
made some mid-season adjustments.
Yeah, mid-season. Yeah. The win total sitting there at just 3.5, guys.
And remember, 13 games, not 12.
Yeah, 13 games. So
can they win one more than last year?
The non-con. Hey, less than 2 weeks away before they go to Nashville, Tennessee to take on the Commodores of Vanderbilt in the SEC. Joe Hackney also says Hawaii is going to be in that tragic magic situation with those wildfires too. There you go. And our hearts go out to those great people on the island.
That's some really weird stuff going on over there, by the way. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but there's some stuff that needs to be looked at. Yeah. It's a little weird.
I haven't looked into that, but
I don't want to discount, I'm talking on my ass. Let's keep going.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm not saying you're not right, but look, so the non-con at Vanderbilt, home to Stanford, the Great Danes of Albany and Reese Poffenberger coming in September 9th, then at Oregon, and then home to New Mexico State. Now, personally, I think you got to say 1-4, but they could beat New Mexico State. They could also beat Stanford. Let's say 2-3. How about that?
So you're doing the first 5 games here.
The non-con. The non-con.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so then okay, I got you. I mean, at least one. I kind of want to give them one more. Also, I'm with you. I'm gonna give them one more.
I think they can get either Stanford or New Mexico State. One of those two. 2 and 3.
Okay. Yeah.
2 and 3.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Conference play starts out at Allegiant, and as Michael Barker, who is very connected to the Hawai'i program, alludes to, no one ever goes to the UNLV games that are from UNLV fans. But Hawai'i fans consider Vegas a stop on the island. They're going to have the home field advantage here. I got them winning at Allegiant on September 30th.
Yeah, so I guess the question within this 4-game stretch is, can they win twice? Now, last year, those 3 wins, they were all at home. They were 0-for on the road. They do have that great home field advantage, just partially due to the travel schedule. But it's at UNLV, home to San Diego State, at New Mexico, home to San Diego State, San Jose State. Okay, give me 2 more.
I mean, again,
I got them with 1, but that's it. They almost beat San Diego State in San Diego.
They're going to win one of those pretty easy road trips, and they can win one of the home games. So I already have them at what, 2 and 7.
All right, I'll join you.
They'll probably win both of those really easy road trips, although they only beat UNLV by 6 last year at home. So they got to travel across the ocean and play them in Vegas.
That's not a home field advantage, though. No one goes to that game.
Look, I think 2 and 2 there.
I think it's, and then the final stretch of the season at Nevada, winnable. Home to Air Force. Remember, Air Force can no longer cut block. That
it's not going to destroy the program.
Well, when I asked Troy Calhoun, he sure didn't seem sound about his team this year. I'll put it like that.
All right.
So you're more confident than Troy Calhoun. I'll trust Troy Calhoun.
You talk to the man in person. I think
I'll trust Patty C.
Yeah. At Wyoming and then home to Colorado State. I think they certainly could get another one, but I'm already on the over. So I'm on the over. I think 4 and 8 is probably what happens. 4 and 9. Maybe.
I think there's a clear route to 5 wins.
Yeah, 5 and 8,
not 6. I think I'm more on 5 and 8. So if I'm clearing that over under by a game and a half, I'm definitely on the over, and I would even contemplate locking it.
Wow,
thinking about that lock.
I don't have a whole lot of locks in this conference.
You
know what? I'm in a giving mood here. Let's give the Rainbow Warriors a lock.
Well, let's also consider that this team has managed at least 4 bowl wins the previous 4 seasons prior to last year. So this is a program that's used to winning at least 4 games.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Hop on over there. Are you locking it up?
I'll lock it up.
Oh.
Give me some music.
NC Nick and Patty C locking up the Rainbow Warriors.
Look, this team belongs with Stanford and Cal.
In the Pac-4?
In the Pac-4. Merge it.
Merge the Pac-4, make it the Pac-5.
It wasn't a good defense a year ago, but they bring back 9 guys on defense. I think they can bump up to like middle of the pack in the Mountain West on D, and that's going to make all the difference.
Yeah.
Jimmy Chang's going to get this thing going.
Fair. Patty C. Okay, so program trajectory. I would say I will say I'll say up.
Well, you have to.
Do you? They only won 3 games last year.
Well, they had time.
But they showed improvement. It's a guy he's from the island. He's also, been a part of. He was their quarterback under their most successful era in Hawaii football history.
The very fact that their coach isn't trying to sabotage. What's that?
Oh, you got the Timmy Chang jersey right there. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm on the. I think the trajectory is going up.
Yeah. A little bit. We'll see.
Talk to me again after this year. I'm still flat, but you guys are probably right.
All right, we jump on over to the Ken Wilson and the Nevada Wolf Pack. I like Ken Wilson. He's a former Mike Leach guy. He's a fun interview. Win total sitting at 4. The non-con at USC, home to Idaho, who's a preseason top 10 FCS team, and home to Kansas, and at Texas State in San Marcos. I think this non-con is brutal. I think they could go 0-4. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say maybe they get 1. Nick?
Yeah, I'm gonna give them 1. Now, granted, this team went 2-10 last year. They were in a tough position also with the coaching change. Last year, they beat New Mexico State in the opener and then knocked off Texas State. And then they lost 10 straight. Couple of those games were close. They had a chance to win a couple more, but overall, this was another really bad team last year. I'm with you. 1-3 in the non-con.
Patty, what do you got them in the non-con?
Maybe it's me, sleeping on Texas State. I know
that's the win I have them having.
Okay. I have them beating Idaho at home too.
Idaho lost in Pullman by 7 last year with a freshman quarterback. Their preseason top 10 FCS. I favor Idaho in that.
Where did they come? I guess I haven't adjusted my opinion of Idaho yet. They've been
they hired North Dakota State's OC from previously.
Okay, maybe I got to lean Idaho then. All right, I'll go with you guys. 1-3 there.
All right, then first batch of conference play, they head to Fresno, California. Then they get the Fremont Cannon Trophy on the line. That should be played the final week of the year. Big time fail by the Mountain West. What the fuck are you guys doing? Then they head to the Snapper to take on San Diego State, and then they host New Mexico. So look, getting UNLV in and New Mexico in Reno,
it helps.
I still got them going 1-1 there. I only have 1 win going on in that stretch, so that gets me to 2 wins.
I agree.
Barry Odom, do you think he's going to have? I know we're not there yet, but UNLV is he a better coach?
I just think it's a
Ken
more
Wilson?
talented team because Arroyo was recruiting at a high level. So
Bye
Odom
week.
walks into a more talented
team.
Yeah.
Both teams coming off a bye, but the game is in Reno. Look, I think Nevada as a program is not this 2-10 team we saw last year. I think they're going to rebound nicely. They got raided by their old coach.
Jay Norvell
in the portal, taking a lot of guys to Colorado State. I think they're going to get 2 out of this 4. So put me at 3 and 5.
3 and 5.
Yeah.
3 and 5.
All right, so final 4 stretch.
Our math is awful.
Yeah.
I totally butchered the last team.
Final 4 games here. Home to Hawaii on November 4th. See, this to me is very winnable because, man, these Islanders got to go up to cold ass Reno on November 4th, at Utah State, at Colorado State, in that rivalry is spiced up, and then home to the Wyoming Cowboys. I think they get another one there. I am on the under with the Nevada Wolfpack, and I'm trying to build a case. Best scenario for 5 wins here.
I mean, you can do that because it's Idaho, it's Texas State, it's UNLV, it's New Mexico, and Hawaii. And 4 of those games are at home. There's a case for 5.
Okay, I'm not going to lock it.
Like you, I'm on the under.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a 3-win team. I think 4. Okay, you could talk me into 4, but 5, you'd have to win all of those games. And Nevada just didn't show me enough last year.
All right, look, they didn't show me enough either. But if we go back to 2002, I want to say only twice in the last 21 seasons they failed to get 5 wins. I think they rebound. I think the history speaks for itself.
Lock it up again?
I'm not locking, but I'm taking the over. I'm leaning over.
Joe Hagney in the chat says he enjoyed my breakdown of wolves. Yes, look, wolves, solid animal. I'm a big fan of wolves. They're a 1 seed on my animal tournament.
Yet he still hates on NC State, the Wolfpack.
Yeah, because look,
the real Wolfpack.
Yeah, they're not the alpha male. They're the follower of the wolf pack. So the alpha male is probably the New Mexico Lobos this year with my guy Danny Gonzalez. All right, saying he'll take that any coach. Bring it on.
It's awfully generous.
Yeah. All right, let's jump on over and talk about the Colorado State Rams. 4.5 wins. Jay Norvell.
I'm gonna ram it.
We do have that.
Yeah, buddy. Give me the vibes.
This team, very interesting. I think they're going to take a gigantic jump. If you look at Norvell coach teams before year 2, big fucking jumps.
I was a little gung ho last year. I was wrong. I'll be the first to admit I was on the Colorado State over. I think it was in my top 10 locks. That did not hit. They only won 3 games, and they were kind of fortunate to win 3.
Yeah, but
and if you weren't the first one to admit it, I'd be the first one to say it. So.
Yeah, but
I was beating you to the punch pad to see. I knew it was coming.
He always throws me in there. I'm like, I didn't lock it. But you want something? You want something for this year?
You're talking an awful lot of shit.
I will lock it this year.
Whoa.
Give me the over. I love this team. They went out and got a bunch of North Dakota State players and a North Dakota State coach. And I think the schedule's a lot lighter for them. And I kind of love the way this schedule's aligned. How about from the start, the non-con? They take on Washington State in Fort Collins. Guess what Washington State does? They run the air raid. Guess what Colorado State does? They run the air raid. So you get a nice, you get to play someone that is essentially like you. I think that game is winnable, even though I favor Washington State. Right? I take Colorado State plus the 14. I'll tell you that.
My observation, there may be truth to this, may be complete bullshit, but when you're playing teams of a similar style, right, then the better team usually wins that. It's a contrast of style that lends the opportunity for an upset if one team's better prepared for the other. Washington State's clearly better than Colorado State. Washington State's going to win that game handily.
No, take the 14. Lock it up.
Anyway, rest of the non-conference slate.
Well, then you got to love this. They get a bye week before heading to Folsom. Love the fact you got the Rocky Mountain Showdown back on the schedule here, but everyone's talking Dion in the state of Colorado. This is a game. I'm telling you, this is going to be a closer game than people think. This is going to be. I would not be surprised if I'll say this. I think Colorado State's going to beat either Wazoo or Colorado. One of the two.
So you think they're going to go 3-1 out of conference with at Middle Tennessee and Utah Tech coming up?
Yes, I do. I think Middle Tennessee lost too much, especially at the quarterback spot, where I think they'll go into Johnny Red Floyd Stadium and get that dub.
See, I'm going 2-2, and I feel like I'm being kind of generous going 2-2.
I thought
you have been going 3-1. Wow.
I thought they dominated the transfer portal. And
they have 15 starters returning also. So
that's what I'm saying.
Some experience, a little influx of talent too.
Go listen to our Colorado State preview.
We got two types of history working against each other because Jay Norvell, 4 straight winning seasons at Nevada prior to coming to Colorado.
What was year 2? That was the big jump. He struggled
3-9 to 8-5. Yeah. So that does that history suggests a big jump here. But the last 5 years at Colorado State, they failed to break 4 wins or go more than 4 wins. So they have sucked for half.
One of those years was COVID. 5-game season.
What would they do? 1-3, still not good.
4-game season.
Not fair. I think. I disagree with both of you. I think Middle Tennessee was good. I know they got hit in the portal, and I know Colorado State's improved, but I think 1-3 in the non-conference.
I can't wait for this one next
if year. Anything, I think their game against Colorado is one of their better opportunities. I think they have a better chance of beating Colorado than they do Middle Tennessee.
I mean, that's not Colorado's 1-11 last year, buddy. And any more piping hot takes?
Oh, you're sitting here telling me Travis Hunter's going to win Heisman. Colorado State's Big 12 sleeper.
All right, give a Heisman here's a piping hot take. They definitely beat Utah Tech in week 4 at home.
Yes, Utah Tech got destroyed in the portal. Subscribe to the FCS College
Not
Football
Dixie
Experience.
State, Utah Tech.
All right, then conference play starts at Utah State. Home to Boise State, at UNLV, home to Air Force. I'll be honest, I love that 4-game stretch. I think they go 3-1.
Wow. 3-1. Again, if I'm saying 2-2, I think it'd be generous. I'm going to go 1-3, actually.
I think they're a better team right now. Utah State got destroyed in the portal.
It's never easy to go up to Logan, though.
True, but I think that game's winnable. I got them losing to Boise. I got them definitely beating UNLV, and then Air Force with the rule changes on the road. I favor Colorado State.
They could easily be 0-4 in this.
Stop it, UNLV.
So Colby's record is 5-3. You're already you're already past the over. This
is slam dunk. This is one of my favorites for the whole college football season.
I can't think of it. Once again, a team we disagree on more.
Yeah,
in the entirety of college football.
Last year. That was Nick.
Okay, well we're about to have a huge disagreement because. Mark it down. I'm locking the under on this lock battle.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's go. Hold on. The remaining 4 games at Wyoming on a Friday night, home to San Diego State, who they will beat in Fort Collins because it's too cold for those little sissies. And then home to Nevada on November 18th, another win. And then at the Ching Complex, bring your membership on November 25th. I think this team, I really love this over. If you go listen to it, I know I broke it down with someone that is much more familiar with Colorado State football. I think it's one of the best ones you can do out of the entire college football. Out of 133 teams, I think it's one of the best ones.
I'm not quite there with them. I'm thinking this is
I hear there's rumors on the internets.
So continue. I'm sorry.
You know what? I'm gonna say okay. They'll get to 6. I'm good with 6-6. I'm on the over, but I'm not gonna lock it up. Maybe I'm a little gun shy because of last year, but I do think they're gonna be much improved.
Some of the best stuff they did was in the portal, but anyway, we got a lock battle. Patty C. Yeah, bring it on.
All right.
You want to ride with Dundee? You want to ride with Patty C?
This team
he scrutinized my lock of South Alabama over a year ago. All right.
This team is worse than 9 of the games on their schedule. If you're just going by,
really?
Yes,
no, from a roster standpoint,
Utah Tech, they're better than Nevada. They may be better than
roster right now than Middle Tennessee.
Hawaii.
You're a fool. UNLV? What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, UNLV on there too. But that's on the road. Look, I think it's being generous. Like
you're crazy. You're fucking crazy.
You're crazy. I'm locking the under. We'll have this conversation. We'll do this dance again this year.
Yeah.
Guys, have we broken down like who's our team in this conference?
Let me ask you guys this real quick. How did that go for you guys last year?
I didn't lock it, buddy.
But you talked a lot of shit
in that.
Yeah. Okay.
You also locked Nevada on the over. How'd that go for you, buddy?
Well, this is we're not talking about Nevada. I learned my lesson. You guys haven't learned your lesson.
No,
you're still hyping this shit ass Colorado State team.
I can't wait. You're gonna be so fucking wrong.
All right, let's go.
I'm making it official. Colorado State is my team in the conference, even though I really like Boise a lot too. But
I have another team that's out
you're
there.
Fresno.
Well, I also like the team that me and you are going to go to a game at. Best uniforms in college football, in my opinion.
There's a lot of good teams. There's a lot of fun teams in this conference. Sorry, go ahead.
All right, jumping over to the next team on the schedule here, the Utah State Aggies. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Their win total is only 5. Patty C wants Utah. He's got Utah State in the national championship. Blake Anderson. Look, I obviously I know he had to deal with a lot. Obviously his tragic situation with his son passing away right before the season. It's fair to say that maybe his mind wasn't all the way in on football.
Wasn't his wife passed away a couple years before that?
She had cancer, and so he's had a tough run of it. He was a really nice guy when I got to meet him.
And still went 6-6 last year.
Yeah, still went 6-6. Cooper Lagasse back at the quarterback spot, and they did get pretty destroyed in the portal. I feel like their best players are now on different teams. But
only 9 returning starters, which is worst in the whole conference.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is they really got destroyed in the portal.
4 on offense, 5 on defense.
The non-con though, at Iowa, home to Idaho State and Cody Hawkins, home to James Madison week 4, and at UConn. I'll be honest, I got them 1-3, but maybe they get JMU.
Feel like they're getting either JMU or UConn.
That's a far trip. UConn was going to beat them last year before their quarterback tore his ACL. A 9-point game. What was that? 10-point game, something like that.
What was it last year?
All right,
I'm gonna go 1-3. I'm gonna go 1-3.
31-20 last year against UConn in Logan. They got the W. They won it against UConn last year. I'm gonna go 2-2 as well.
I'm gonna go 1-3. So the conference play is week 3 on a Friday night at Air Force. Now these games are wild. The past 2 games between these two have been absolutely insane. I'll favor Utah State to win this one.
At Air Force?
Yeah, because Air Force lost a ton. I'm telling you, Calhoun was not very confident about his team this year.
Well, okay. Again, break it down.
I don't know if he's playing me like a fiddle over here because he was like, "We lose."
Some coaches are like that. Some coaches purposely talk down.
He's like the rule changes. I don't know what we can do, and we lose a quality quarterback and Hazik Daniels, and the option. We're gonna move this thing, and we don't have him. He's been a 4-year starter,
putting everyone to sleep.
Yeah,
Well, this is a tough stretch of the first 4 conference games. It's at Air Force, home to Colorado State, home to Fresno State, at San Jose State. I'm tempted to say 1-3 there.
I'm going 1-3.
That at San Jose State game is a big one. I think that's a true coin flip, but the fact that it's on the road, I'm going to lean L. So I'll say 1-3 with you guys.
I got them at 2 wins right now.
You're at 2-6. I think Nick and I are both at 3-5.
Yeah.
At San Diego State, the Snapper, they're capable of winning that one. Home to Nevada, they're capable of winning that one. Home to Boise, they never win that one. And at New Mexico, they could go 3-4 or 3 out of 4 in the final 4. I can't do math. And
getting Boise at home is interesting,
folks. I'm on the under.
So I actually have them winning 2 there. So I'm right at the number. I'm going to put a little bit of trust in Blake Anderson and lean over. Maybe they win one of those, one game in that middle stretch where I just had them 1-3 or something. I want to go over, but I certainly, this is one of my least favorite plays in the whole conference.
To be fair, I do think they're going to go 5-7.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I lean under.
Look, in the last 11 full seasons they played, not counting Mountain West, 10 times have they gone over the number here, gone bowling. So, or no, 9 times they've gone bowling. So look, I think I got to lean over just based on that
trajectory. I have it as average.
Yeah, we got them steady.
Yeah,
Everyone.
Flat.
Yeah, flat. That's what I mean.
Like to see Blake Anderson have a year or two without some tragedy occurring in his life, because he was doing pretty dang well.
He's a good football coach.
At Arkansas
He's a good
State.
football coach.
Well, they went 11-3 in 2021 with him at Utah State.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Won the Mountain West.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, before we get out of here, we got the San Jose State Spartans. We're gonna have 2 episodes, by the way. Part A, part B. So make sure you check out both. But we got the San Jose State Spartans, and look, I can tell you, as someone who just previewed this one, I am locking up the over on the San Jose State Spartans. Love what they return, and the fact they bring back first team All Mountain West quarterback Chevin Cordero is huge to me. And this is a guy that I thought, and he took great steps. He was quick to admit to me when I interviewed him that first month or two he really didn't feel very comfortable with everything. But then as the season prolonged, he says, I got more and more comfortable. And I think Brent Brennan returning Robinson at the running back spot.
Robinson somehow first team preseason all conference running back.
He's a stud. He's
only
a stud.
752 rushing yards. Maybe not a lot of great runners returning in the Mountain West.
How about this? Returning your whole offensive line. The
That
whole
helps.
offensive line and the tight end is back. And they did lose a key wideout, but Justin Lockhart's still back. The defensive side of the ball did take some hits. Only 5 starters back on defense, but 9 on offense. The defense was really good a season ago, but I still expect them. They were very active in the portal, bringing in some guys on the defensive side of the ball. I just think this team is you look back at a season ago, and I thought this team was pretty quality. They won 7 games.
Right there. They won 7 games. Tell me how many good wins they had. This is
but they also had a game canceled. Remember, they had a game canceled because of a player fatality. So they would have had 8 wins.
True, but so look at their wins. They beat Portland State, Western Michigan, UNLV, Nevada, Colorado State, Hawaii. That is.
You forgot Wyoming.
Utah.
Well, I was going to mention the one. I was going to mention the one good one, which was at Wyoming. And Wyoming was an average team last year. That's the only decent win on their whole schedule. I mean, they beat up on really bad teams last year. I wonder how good they were.
Hang on, buddy. There was a 1-score game at Auburn. It was a 1-score game to the Mountain West champs in Fresno, right? And they should have beaten Utah State. They let them off the hook. They had that game won. They fumble. Utah State is able to capitalize on that late in the 4th quarter. But I think this team's a lot better, and I think I love this over. So I'm locking this up.
So we haven't mentioned yet is that the Mountain West is done with divisions. So before San Jose State would have been in the West division. How does that affect things? I think that was probably the easier of the 2 divisions last year.
Last year, yeah. Certain years, though. I mean, I don't know. When Hawaii was good, you had the.
I'm not talking about in years past. I'm talking about what they did last year and how that relates to this year.
Yeah, but I feel like their roster, especially with San Diego State going air raid this year, like I think their roster is one of the better ones in the Mountain West.
San Jose State's or San?
Yeah. Well, they play San Diego State, and San Diego State's going air raid, which I actually think I favor San Jose State when they play the against one each other. Now,
you know why I don't like San Jose State too is that I went all in on their COVID season when they went 7-1. I was like, all right, man, this program is going in the right direction. I like Brett Brennan.
I would still certainly say it's going in the right direction.
Oh, they followed that up with a 5-7 season where they just didn't look like they had any fire. I was kind of surprised how flat they came out in 2021. So that
was the
has left a
quarterback?
bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah. Well, you need to delete that because Control Alt Delete.
Well, the other bad taste in my mouth is that losing the bowl game by 14 to versus Eastern Michigan last year.
Sure. That's up in cold weather. Eastern Michigan's prepared for that shit. But let's get to the non-con because the non-con not very kind. At USC, home to Oregon State, home to Cal Poly, who's starting a 5-star quarterback. Patty C, put him in the national championship. And then at Toledo, the Glass Bowl. That Toledo game sneaky.
That's 1-3.
I'll even say 1-3, even though I think they beat Toledo.
They could beat Toledo.
Yeah.
They could easily beat Toledo.
I'll say 1-3.
The year I was talking about in 2021, they had a game at Western Michigan, very similar to this game, where I thought San Jose State would come in and take care of business, and they lost 23-3. Again, maybe this is just me thinking about the bets I missed on in the past, but I have them losing at Toledo.
Okay, I did too. I even said, look, I think they can win that game. It's kind of a 50-50 to me, but
Yeah,
I will say 1-3. I will say 1-3.
Can we just discuss how this is one of the most volatile teams from year to year in all of college football? Looking back, they weren't on my radar as much before, but they have a good year, and then within a year or two, they have a terrible year, and then they have a great year again, and then they're terrible again. It's like it's really hard to predict. I guess Brent Brennan has been within a game of 500 on either side 3 of the last 4 years. You take out the COVID year. He's kind of like a 500-ish coach right now in a good conference. I respect the job that he's doing, but it makes them hard to predict. But I do think, I don't know, that Toledo game's tricky.
Okay. Then in conference play, they start out on a Friday night at home against the Air Force Falcons. I have San Jose State winning that one. Then they have a bye week. They're at Boise. I favor Boise, but I think that could be a game. Then they're at New Mexico and home to Utah State. I am going 3-1 in that first stretch.
I got 2-2 in that stretch.
Oh, hosting Utah State. I'll give them that one. So I'll say 2-2 as well.
So you got them at 3 wins. I got them at 4, right? Then they're at the Ching Complex Center on October 28th. I think that's a win for San Jose State. Then they get a bye week. They're home to Fresno. Once again, the 1-score game at Fresno a year ago. I think this year Fresno loses a lot of key players. This is a 50-50 game to me. Then they're home to San Diego State. I favor San Jose State. And then they're at UNLV. I got them going at least 3-1, maybe 4-0 there. Guys, I have this team as a 7 or 8 win team this year.
I have them finishing 3-1, going 6-6, matching a 1 win less than last year. So I'm on the over, but I certainly don't love it. And especially that over is at -150. So as far as betting it, no thanks.
You have them, I'm guessing, beating San Diego State then?
Yeah, I do.
I'm fine with that. I'm not very high on the Aztecs.
Dude, San Jose State might have the best offensive line in the whole Mountain West. And then when you have the running back and receiver, and they have the first team, they voted this. The Mountain West coaches voted that Cordero is the best quarterback in the conference and that Robinson's the best running back in the conference. So
it's a good start.
Look, the defensive side of the ball is the biggest question mark to me, even though they were very good a year ago. They are replacing a lot.
5 returning stars on defense.
San Diego State's beaten them 9 out of the last 10 times they played. The only time that San Jose State beat them was in that excellent 2020 season. I have a hard time believing they're just going to waltz in and beat.
They're hosting San Diego State.
Whatever. Yeah. Waltz into their own stadium and beat San Diego State. I got them 1-3. No, 2-2 in the Final Four.
Good point by Scott Simone in the chat saying Haener didn't play in the San Jose State game last year. Also,
he's not going to play in this year's one either.
But Mikey Keene will be playing.
Yeah, but Josh Kelly, Jalen Cropper, they're not playing either. Look, and I said 3-1 because I still went Tedford there, but I think that is a 50-50 game.
The number is 5.5 for them.
5.
Wait, San.
Oh, 5.5. Yeah.
5.5. Yeah. I'm leaning under. I got them 5 and 7.
Ooh. All right. Well, look, I am locking up the over.
A lot of differences on this pod. I love it.
Yes. And I actually think the trajectory is up.
So far, there was only one team where we all agreed, right? That was Hawai'i.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. Look, well, we got what? That is halfway in the first 6 teams in the Mountain West. So stick around to the B side here. Hang on. If you're on YouTube, you're fine. But on podcast form, check out the B side. All right, we are back on the college football experience B-side Mountain West 2023 season preview episode. As we've rattled off, go listen to the A side. We're going from lowest win total to highest win total. So no more divisions in the Mountain West. We started off with the New Mexico Lobos, the Hawai'i Rainbow Warriors, jumped over then to the Colorado State Rams, and the Nevada Wolfpack, then the Colorado State Rams, then the Utah State Aggies, and the San Jose State Spartans. Those were the first 6 teams. I am accompanied by Patty C and NC Nick as we go check out all of our conference previews. We have all of them out except for Big Ten, SEC, and AAC, which will all be out in the next 10 days before the season kicks. Subscribe to the College Football Experience, and hopefully you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/the College Experience. NC Nick, what were your surprises on the first side of this? We've had a lot. This might be the conference we've had the most parity.
Well, it's a conference we've had the most differences in opinion, so that makes it fun. And this was kind of the bottom half of the Mountain West. There's some bad teams in there. San Jose State only having a 5.5 over under is kind of surprising. That win total is pretty low for a team that's been, a lot better than say UNLV, who we'll get into next, who has a team total of 6.
Yeah,
that is surprising big time. Now I know like the under on that is -150. So a lot of juice if you want to go under on UNLV, but man, like UNLV projected at more wins than San Jose State. Really?
I was shocked that UNLV had a win total at 6, and we'll dive into it right now. But so the UNLV running Rebels go out and hire Barry Odom, Marcus Arroyo. His tenure is done. It was disappointing for Rebel fans. They do have, Arroyo was recruiting at a pretty decent level. So I feel like
they had some decent wins last year, surprisingly.
I don't know. I mean, UNLV did against who?
I guess Utah State. I mean, North Texas was in their conference championship. They kept it close against Cal.
Yeah,
that's just a little bit impressive, I guess.
Fair. But they still also, they
weren't good, but they weren't horrible last year.
San Jose State beat them by 33. Air Force beat them by 35. They did keep it close with Fresno
and San Diego State.
So
no, they didn't keep it close. Oh, they did keep it close with Fresno.
So there is that. But non-con for 2023, home to the Bryant Bulldogs, who almost beat an FBS a year ago. Should have beat Florida International to open the season. They just joined the CAA this past week. So, folks, what are you doing? I see you texting on your phone, buddy. Huh?
Well, oh man, I was trying to hide it.
This fucking guy over here, huh?
Sorry.
No, they're home to Bryant, at Michigan, home to the Commodores of Vanderbilt, and then they're making the old trip to the Sun Bowl to take on NC Nick's UTEP Miners.
I love how they've been donned as my team here.
They are your team, man. That's your Conference USA team.
And the real question is, can they beat UTEP on the road? I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no. I mean, that is a true 50-50 game.
Very much so.
Very much so. So I have them beating Bryant, but tread lightly. I have them losing to Michigan.
How much did they lose to Michigan by is the question.
45.
I'm going to say
52-7.
72 points.
Last year, they only lost to Notre Dame by 23 last year.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, no. Yeah, you're right. Dame. Michigan did beat Rutgers by about 75 points at one point.
That's true.
But I think, maybe you're right. But either way.
Do you have Vanderbilt winning in the whatever the fuck that terrible stadium is? That's not Sam Boyd. Yeah.
Yes.
They should be playing at Sam
by
Boyd.
Yeah.
So 2 and 2 or
UTEP
1 and 3?
5 and 7 last year. I'm gonna say 1 and 3.
I'll say
the identical record of UNLV.
Yeah, I'll say 1 and 3.
By the way, for what UNLV hasn't won 7 games since 2013, and they need to win 7 to get an over this year.
Yeah. Then they're home to Hawaii. I already gave that one to Hawaii. So okay. I have them 1 and 4 to start the season. I think you can kind of see where I'm going here.
Although, UNLV being 5 and 7, Hawaii being 3 and 9, and them getting Hawaii at home. Not that there's any home field advantage, but there is a travel advantage. I'll put that on a 50-50 list for UNLV. I'll say that much.
Well,
sure.
I mean, in this group of 4, you got Hawaii at Nevada, home to Colorado State, at Fresno State. I have them 1 and 3.
Yeah, I think they get 1 somewhere in there. Somewhere in there, they get what?
I think they get 2. I'm gonna have them 3 and 5 to start the season.
Okay, then the final 4 weeks of the season, they're at New Mexico, home to Wyoming on a Friday night, at Air Force, and home to San Jose State. I have them winless in the final 4.
Maybe
I'm
they
on
get
the
the
under.
New Mexico. Maybe they
I
get
got 'em
two,
getting
3
1.
wins.
I will lock this one too. I love the Mountain West this year. Give me a lock.
Show me 7
under.
wins. Show me 7 wins on the schedule.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here with
All
that
right,
6.
Bryant,
Who's setting this?
UTEP, Hawaii, Nevada, New Mexico. It's got a hard time getting to 7 here.
Now, what do we do for trajectory?
Barry Odom though, 4 and 8, 7 and 6, 8 and 5, 6 and 6. I guess him even getting above 6 wins is asking a lot.
Like, it was a strange hire to me because, like, I mean, do I think he should have got fired at Missouri? Probably not, but he doesn't have any connection to Vegas. It was just a weird kind of weird.
Sometimes you just got to hire a good coach.
Yeah, I think he's a good football coach. So there is that. But yeah, I'm locking up the under here.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
Triple
Patty
it
C,
down.
triple lock. Wow, I don't have
There's
that
an
music
agreement.
but there we go. 6. Get the fuck out of here. Who's setting this?
They got to get to 7. It's fucking
Yeah,
absurd.
Keenan McCardle setting this number.
Well, I mean, best case scenario is they go 6 and 6, and that would be the first time in 10 years. I don't see it.
Yeah. All right, let's jump over and actually, before we do that, let me tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Game Time. Look, gametime.co. Check it out. I mean, how many times have you been to a stadium and you needed tickets on the fly, and it's just been a hassle? You know, it's the game's sold out. You can't get it. I tell the Missoula, Montana story all the time when I was in Montana, but I can also talk about the time we were at the world's biggest cocktail party. That was we were there. It's just a late scramble to get tickets, so it was tough, grabbing tickets. So look, buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be that stressful. All right, Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theaters near you. So with killer deals on last minute ticket sales, essentially, you got to check out Game Time and their best price guarantee. You can't stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hype, for the fun you're going to have at the event, people. I hope I said that correctly. You can stop stressing over the tickets, because that's essentially part of the deal. You go travel somewhere, you're at a hotel, you got to worry about it. Where am I going to get the tickets? Stop stressing out. All right. Get hyped for that game.
The tickets are given with Game Time.
Yes. And Game Time is the place for last minute ticket deals. Forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Get exclusive, flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, all that stuff and more. And the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. All right.
Appropriately named app there. Game Time. Oh, it's Game Time. I got to get my ticket.
Look,
thank God there's Game Time.
And how about this? If you find tickets in the same section in a row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Woo! There you go. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code is CFBX for $20 off. Download Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Game Time. All right, we are back on the college football experience. Mountain West season preview. Now we jump on over to talk about the Wyoming Cowboys. And look, I want to say this from the start. The biggest surprising thing for me at Mountain West Media Day was Craig Bull's confidence. He said to me, and I was actually taken back because I know they got rated in the portal 2 years ago. They got rated, I thought, a little bit this year. And he was very confident in his team. He said it's the best team he's had. He hasn't had a feeling like this since his North Dakota State days. And I was like, okay, maybe I should be paying closer attention to Wyoming because I came in thinking they'd be good. They'd make a bowl, and I believe in his culture. But he's talking championship. He's talking, this is the best team we've ever had to win a Mountain West championship.
Well, listen to this. 3 defensive linemen out of 4 are preseason all-team, all conference first team, and a linebacker. So 4 out of the front 7 all conference. First team are from Wyoming.
Yeah.
10 returning starters on defense. Their experience chart is first in the Mountain West, 21st in the country. You love the defense. Question is, can the offense do anything?
It's a big one.
And getting Peasley back is huge, but
he was not the best quarterback last year. He needs to play better. And they already have issues, injury issues at running back. They're down either one or two guys already.
Wiley's injured?
McNeely's injured, and another dude.
I like the Wiley transfer get from Northern Illinois. He was good with NIU. The non-con, certainly not easy. Home to Texas Tech, though. They got the Red Raiders coming to Laramie. Watch out. There's a very good stat that I don't have prepared for this, but about how the Power 5 teams that have last played in Laramie. Portland State in week 2, and then they head to Darrell Royal Stadium to take on the Texas Longhorns, and then they're home to Appalachian State in a game that me and NC Nick are planning to get to. I got them going 2-2 in the non-con.
I think that's fair. I think they definitely get either Texas Tech or App State, but could be both of them. But I'm gonna say 2-2.
Yeah, I favor them against App, and Portland State, but I don't have them favored against Texas Tech and Texas. But wouldn't shock me if they beat Texas Tech.
And you're very high on both Texas Tech and App State, so I almost am forced to ride with you. And especially if Craig Bowles, exuding that much confidence, which doesn't seem to be his MO.
Yeah.
But Texas Tech and App State, even both at home, those are two damn good teams.
So far though, dude.
It's a long trip. They're up in the mountains too. I want to say 1-3, but you guys have convinced me to go 2-2.
There we go.
2-2, and then they're home. Conference play starts home to New Mexico, home to Fresno. That game could be a little sneaky. At Air Force, they get a bye week, and then they're at Boise. Okay. 2-2 again, even though I think it could be 3-1.
I'm gonna go 2-2. It could be 1-3.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 1-3, just because between that, I felt like I was giving them a little bit.
Didn't they beat Air Force last year, and Air Force lost everybody in the rule changes?
That's true. 17-14 in Laramie last year.
When those service academies lose people, I don't think it really matters as much as other teams. It seems like they always just
quarterback certainly matters.
Well, Colby's pointed out on a number of occasions. So it's a nugget that I couldn't believe you pulled. It's Laramie, if I'm not correct, Bowl in particular, that's particularly adept at defending the triple option.
Yeah. Well, he was at Nebraska during the Osborne years. This guy knows how to stop the option.
It's a track record that's kind of unbelievable.
2-2.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I'll say 3-5 in the first 3. You got them 4-4.
Yeah.
All right.
4-4, and then the final stretch of the season, home to Colorado State, at UNLV, home to Hawaii, at Nevada. I actually think they're going to win all 4.
That is a genius way to end the year. That's a fantastic way to end the year.
Maybe Colorado State gets them, but I can tell you this. Hawaii having to go to Laramie on November 18th sounds just terrible for Hawaii. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. So
I got them finishing 4-0 too.
They went 7-5 last year. I think this team is better than last year. I think the schedule's better. You know what, Colby? You want to lock it with me?
You're goddamn right, I do.
Let's do it.
I love the Mountain West. I'm locking up everything over here. Call me Mike Loxley. All right, that's what you should be calling me. I'm locking up teams left and right. Patty, see you in on this or no?
I'm not in on the lock, but I am in on the over. I think they get to 7.
Trajectory?
Standing still, I guess.
Yeah, I think you got to say standing still. But hey, if he says he can win a championship here, what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, maybe a team like a team like Wyoming and a coach like Craig Bowl kind of reminds you of an Iowa, a Kirk Ferentz. They sit around, they plug away until the team all comes together. They have a special roster, and boom, pops out an 11-win year. Maybe that's what's in store for Wyoming this year.
Best uniforms in college football?
It's right there, top 5. Yeah, top 5.
Yes, so amazing.
You love it because they're unique. Like who's pairing brown and yellow together?
Yeah, well, their stadium looks amazing too.
Well, hopefully we'll be there.
Yeah. We should be there.
Super well done. Not to mention the saloon script on the jersey.
Yeah,
they just know what they're doing.
They do it really well.
Yeah,
really well. All right, hopping over. Now we're talking about the Aztecs going to the air raid, bringing in Ryan Lindy from Mike Leach, former player Ryan Lindley. Guys, I don't know that they needed to do that, but I'm interested to see what you guys think about, perhaps that they're sitting there at a 7 win total, 7 now. They've been bowling for like 12 straight years.
They went 7-5 last year.
7-5 last year. Okay. Let's try to sell us on this San Diego State Aggies
so
team.
Before this year, though, this
team.
This is similar to, I think it was San Jose State, where 7-5 record, decent. But look at their wins. Idaho State, Hawaii, Nevada, UNLV, New Mexico. And they beat a decent win over San Jose State and a decent win at Toledo. But a lot of those 7 games was filled with bad wins.
Sure. And this year's non-con, I would argue, might be more challenging because the team that perhaps would have won the MAC championship had their starting quarterback been healthy. Ohio Bobcats, 10-4 a season ago, come into the snapper on August 26th, less than 2 weeks away. And then Cody Hawkins and the Idaho State Bengals. And then they're home to Chip Kelly, UCLA, and Dante Moore before they head to Corvallis to take on DJ Ukulele, Jonathan Smith, and the Beavers. Guys, I got them. They're a 3.5 point favorite over Ohio. Gosh, I got them 2-2 after their non-con. That they could easily be 1-3. They could easily be 1-3.
They could Ohio's a good team. Rourke coming back. If they come in more prepared than San Diego State, they can get the win off the bat. But I'll say 2-2 with you.
Well, it's very similar to the Toledo game last year where they won at home 17-14 because Toledo won the other division of the MAC last year. Yeah, I'm taking the points, but I guess I'm going to give the Aztecs the win over Ohio. I mean, in general, the Mountain West is stronger and tougher than the MAC, and they're at home, so you have to go their way in that game. And so
no one walks into the snapper. We all know that.
Nobody goes into the snapper and gets a dub
until week 3.
That is yeah, we're Chip Kelly, but they beat Chip Kelly.
True.
Last time they played.
I mean,
yeah,
2-2's not 3-1's not out of the question here.
So Friday, September 22nd, though, the Boise State Broncos come into the snapper, start conference play. Then they're at Air Force. Remember, they play a week 0 game, so they get 2 bye weeks. So they get a bye week before heading to the island to take on Timmy Chang and the Rainbow Warriors, and then they host the Nevada Wolfpack at the snapper on October 21st. So, guys, I have them going 2-2 there. Maybe even 3-1.
That's pretty clearly a 2-2 scenario, but yeah, if they show up against Boise, or if, like you said, Air Force has to drastically change what
they're glad to get Air Force in September too, because
they could go 1-3 there. I'm not too far off from giving them losses in both away games and home to Boise. But for the sake of conservativeness, I'll say 2-2.
So we got a 4-4.
Let me ask you guys something. Yeah. Brady Hoke, doesn't it have the same feel as like David Shaw? We're just waiting for this program to fall apart a little bit.
Yeah, it's been declining.
Yeah, and you just see the culture, the toughness, the it factor just going away.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's what happened at Michigan that's influencing that. I mean, they were 12-2 2 years ago.
Rocky Long would run to these awesome running backs and play great defense and special teams, and they would win like 10 games.
Yeah.
And now,
now
he
he's
wants
not
to change. Now he's going to the air raid. So
yeah.
After the bye week, so 4-4, I think we all have them at 4-4. Once again, the win total 7. There's after the bye week, they're home to Utah State, which I actually favor San Diego State in that. Then they're at Colorado State, where they think they lose. Then they're at San Jose State, where I think they lose. Then they're home to Fresno, where I think they lose. I think they go 1-3. Maybe you could talk me into 2-2. Maybe it's a 6-6 team, but I don't see 8 wins. I almost think we should lock this.
I was gonna say this is a flat 7. Like if it was 6.5, then I'd be like, all right, maybe they get to 7-5 again, but they're not getting to 8.
Dude, we should lock this one too.
I'm with you. Let's lock another. Fuck it.
Fucking, it's a Lockman's party. Let's go.
I am contemplating, but are we forgetting the fact that this team was? Or do we attribute that entirely to Rocky Long 2 years ago?
They're having a major shift in an offensive philosophy here. They're going from power run to air raid.
I don't like. I mean, their basketball program is keeping the defensive West Coast grinding school identity intact. That's what their football identity was too. Brady Hoke's fucking things up in San Diego.
He really is.
I don't like what he's doing.
I know.
This
our
team
gals maybe no more.
Yeah, look, this team has won 10 games 5 times in the last 8 years. Are we sleeping on them by locking them under 7? I'm not ready to lock.
Ah, you coward.
I'm not ready to lock.
Coward.
I will take under tentinatively, I
Start
guess.
calling you Colin Coward over
well.
there. I'm just
good one. Zing.
I see what you did there.
All right, next up, we got the Fresno State Bulldogs, and I will just hit this. The lock party continues.
They always lock at every team here.
That's a fucking lock right here.
Is
You're
it?
telling me? Yes. Let's talk about this team. The non-con for Fresno State. They open up at Purdue week 1. Call me crazy. I favor Fresno State against Purdue. Let's go. Gilbert's in the chat. Fresno State to the Big 12, baby. Let me ask, how about this? Fresno State Purdue to me is like a 50-50 game, but I love the fact Jeff Tedford's taking on a first-time coach in Ryan Walters in his first ever game, right?
I mean, look, Fresno lost a lot. They lost their best 2 receivers. They lost their quarterback. I think they lost their running back. They have, I think they're going to be able to reload pretty quickly here. And, trust in Tedford is a good thing.
They are winning at Arizona State. I will guarantee that. The Purdue one is 50-50.
Yeah.
At Arizona State, they're winning.
I like a 3-1 out of conference.
Yes. Kent State's going to be the worst FBS school this year. Eastern Washington ain't there yet. 3-1, maybe even 4-0, man.
I mean, can we talk about the turnaround that this team, went through in year 1, I guess you could say under Ted for last year. Yeah, they beat a terrible Cal Poly FCS team in week 1, but then 4 straight losses.
Well, and those 4 straight losses because Hainer got injured.
Hainer was out, and then and good competition. Oregon State at USC and Boise, but they even lost to UConn. You could see the turnaround at the end of the year when they play Boise on the road again in the Mountain West Championship game, and they win by 12.
Tedford can coach, baby. He's one of the most underrated coaches in America.
Yeah, they end the season with 9 straight wins. This team is going in the right direction. I am taking them to beat Purdue as well,
dude. Let's go 4-0 non-con. 4-0 non-con.
I'm not
Wait,
with
what
you. 3-1.
Purdue, Eastern Washington at home, Kent State, and who's the other one?
Arizona
State.
Yeah.
Arizona State. I'll say 3-1 as well.
Ah, you coward. Join me. Don't get me. Okay. 50-50 game in Purdue. Okay, I'll join you. 3-1. Let's play devil's advocate. Then they're home to Nevada. They will win by 31 points. All right. Then they're at Wyoming. That game's a little sneaky to me. The game's a little sneaky, but I think they beat Wyoming. Then they're at Maverick Stadium on a short week in Logan. I think they'll win that. And then they get a bye week and they're home to UNLV. 4-0 or 3-1.
2-2. I'm dropping both road games. I think Wyoming stylistically
2-2.
It's tough.
No.
And then
They're beating Utah State.
back
You're
to
fucking
back,
insane.
back road at Utah State. I have them
Nah.
dropping that also.
No, you're a maniac. You're
Those
a
are tough
fucking
teams, but they're
maniac.
better than both of
Yeah,
them. You got to go
yeah.
on the road and play 2 500.
You know what? Fuck it. 4-0. 4-0 here.
You have an 8-0?
3-1.
7-1.
6-2.
No,
Purdue-
you went 4-0 on the first 4, right?
No, then I reversed it and said I'll play
Alright.
devil's advocate.
He's
3-1.
a sissy. He's a coward.
7-1. Then they get Boise and Fresno, which never happens. I feel like every time they gotta go to the Smurf turf. They're at San Jose State. They're home to New Mexico, and then they're at the Snapper to end the season.
He's got a great season.
They
coming
could go
up.
12-0, man.
Do you believe in Mikey Keene?
Yes, I love that kid.
I believe Hainer. Well,
Let me tell you this. I believe Jeff Tedford in a quarterback.
Yeah.
He knows how to coach a fucking quarterback.
I have
You know-
Boise beating Fresno, but I have them winning the last 3. I think by the end of the year, a lot of those new faces on offense, will be a lot better. I have them at 8, but I mean, just beat Utah State and you're at 9. So I like the over, but I'm not going to lock it up.
Buddy, this is a fucking lock. I don't even they just won at the Smurf turf last year, right? Boise in the Valley. This is like, there's not even, I don't see a for sure loss on the schedule.
Saying
Now,
like
it could be
your
Purdue.
your road games at Purdue, at Arizona State, 2 P5s, at Wyoming, at Utah State, Logan is never easy to win at San Jose State, at San Diego State. That's 6 tough road trips.
they're better than all those teams, though.
Yeah.
Are they?
I think
Maybe not
Purdue
Purdue.
is the only
Yeah.
one that you say, but yes, the other ones, yes.
But yeah, because those are on the road, there's probably 2 losses in there. Do they beat every home team? I think 9-3 is like kind of at least what they're going to do.
Worst case scenario, 8-4.
Yeah, worst case scenario 8-4. I'm on the over. I'll lock it with you.
Let's go.
You know, I want to tell you,
disrespect.
regale you guys with a tale.
I picked over also. Okay.
Yeah, you didn't lock it up, you coward. Think they're gonna have a hard time at Maverick Stadium? You will be hearing from me.
Sorry, we're not locking
Friday
up
night.
Every team
Logan.
like you.
Yeah, Colby's got 15 locks.
Mexi Melt says, I'm rocking my Fresno State and ECU gear all season long here in Michigan. There we go.
Colby's got 15 locks in a 14-team conference.
Buddy, how many do I have?
He's
1,
locking
2,
the over
3,
and the
4,
under
5,
on one
6. So, folks, just know next week when we do our locks episode, it's basically going to be the Mountain West preview. All right.
Let me tell you this.
I'm done with my locks, though.
But still listen, please.
I am done with my locks. Yeah.
When I was down in San Diego, a drunk fool like I am, to this day, I'm out at Kate Sessions Park, beautiful hillside park. Look it up on Google if you want. Amazing view, right? It's a summer day. I see a guy throwing a football, right? I say, you throw the football like a Jeff Tedford quarterback. He said, I was Aaron Rodgers' backup at Cal.
No shit.
And we sat there and threw the ball. That guy, pause. Got down on his knees, one knee.
Where's this going?
Where's this going? No, but he just showed me like his throwing distance off of a knee. This guy was putting in like 30, 40 yards on a rope off his knee. I was like, God damn. Something about Jeff Tedford's mechanics. Whatever it was, Aaron Rodgers completely changed his mechanics coming out of Cal and going into Green Bay. It was like one of the most notable changes ever. But to this day, I mean, his quarterbacks aren't as pronounced in that like super high, like, throwing stance that there used to be. But obviously, he still gets great production out of his quarterbacks. Jeff Tedford,
underrated coach.
After that performance, you got down on your knees?
I got down on my knees and,
and did the Patty C. All right. Look, all the kids are doing it. Look, folks, before I get to the next one, I want to tell you folks out there that the college football experience is brought to you by Sports Gambling Podcast Patreon. Yes. Sign up for the Patreon to get access to exclusive contests, including the NFL win totals contest with $1,000 first place prize. Besides season-long contests, we also have weekly contests just for the patrons, plus a monthly SGP Stories podcast. Yes, you will hear completely ad-free and full behind-the-scenes stories from the SGPN crew. Maybe you'll hear Patty C telling how the Patty C became a thing. Do the Patty C. All of San Diego seems to be doing the Patty C. It seems to be a normal thing.
When you join Hollywood is doing.
When you join the Navy, you do the Patty C. Right? Get out there lonely on a ship. Do the Patty C.
Don't make that stick. Keep it moving. Let's go.
There's even a Discord channel, all this good stuff. All right. Just for the patrons. Only you out there in the universe can prevent corporate gambling. Do your part and sign up today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. All right. We are back down to just 2 teams. The Air Force Falcons sitting there at 8.5 as the win total. Troy Calhoun, former Falcon quarterback. That's what I like. You got Tedford, former Fresno quarterback. Calhoun, former Air Force quarterback. Andy Avalos, former Boise defensive player. You just got these guys. Danny Gonzalez played at New Mexico. That's you got to appreciate that, man. You got all these guys that's them. All right.
They're mountain and they're west.
Yes. Let's get to the good old Air Force Falcons, because 8.5 is the win total. They lose Brad Roberts, aka John Riggins 2.0, and Hazik Daniels, and the rule changes, and that is why I am on the under with Air Force. But let's talk about it. Home to Robert Morris, they were terrible. Shout out to Bernard. Nick, you remember Bernard Clark?
Bernard Clark, the linebacker from Miami.
Yes, he is the head coach of Robert Morris.
That's a
wow.
And
I know that.
Well, they were winless last year, so I don't know how. Apparently, that's what you gotta love about the FCS. They give you a long leash. They give you a fucking long leash. But that will be a win for Air Force. Nice way to start off with these rule changes. The other non-con games, a trip to Houston, kind of a neutral site game, but kind of not, to take on Sam Houston State. Then they're at Navy and Brian Newberry's first year, and then they're home to Army in Denver, Colorado. Randy Cross on the call of that game.
That could be 4-0.
It could be 2-2 also.
I must split the difference and say 3-1.
I'm going to say 2-2. I think Sam Houston's a lot better than people think. They redshirted 20 guys last year. 20
Air
guys.
Force has won 9 games in back-to-back seasons in the FBS. Thank you.
But with Hazik Daniels and Brad Roberts and those guys, They're out fighting they're fighting for our freedoms right now. All right. You're working hard to put food on your family. All right, to quote the great George W.
What do you got, Patty C? I'm 2-2 out of conference.
One interesting thing here is
no Power 5 this year.
How they are going to how each of the service academies is going to handle the transition from traditional triple option football to whatever version of it they're doing this year. 4-0 Air Force. 4-0.
Oh, sorry, and I'm actually 3-1, and Colby's 2-2, right?
Wow. So you think Calhoun was springing fairy dust on me, huh?
I just think Air Force right now they're better than Navy and Army, and then I mean Sam Houston, they could easily go 4-0. They could, but I'm gonna be conservative and say 3-1.
Yeah, all right, I'll go 3-1 because I love Troy Calhoun. All right, and I love the Air Force Academy.
Look, you're a coastal elite, Nick. Yeah, I would figure you to be a liberal over there. You know, you're getting really conservative. Not just kidding.
Where do we put Air Force uniforms, by the way?
Independent. There you go. What's that?
Where do we put Air Force's uniforms?
They're solid.
Oh man,
they're tops.
They're top.
They're top.
Mountain West has some heat. Oh, look, this team has won at least 9 regular season games, 10 overall, 3 of the last 4 years. The only time they didn't do it was 2020. So the last 3 seasons, 11-3, 10-3, 10 or 11-2, 10-3, 10-3.
I'll even say 3-1, but I think 2-2 could certainly happen.
Patty's 4-0. Okay, let's move on.
Conference play, home to Utah State, at San Jose State, home to San Diego State, bye week, and then home to Wyoming. I think they go 1-3 in that stretch.
That's tricky. 1-3. I'm gonna say 2-2. You're really hating on Air Force.
I want to say 3-1. 3 of those games are at home. They're better than all those teams. They probably could go 4-0.
So I got them 4-4. You guys got them what?
I'm 5-3.
Patty C's got them winning the Natty.
I got them 7-1.
7-1. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then the second stretch here at Colorado State, at Hawai'i, home to UNLV, at Boise State. I got them 2 wins there.
I was gonna put 2 other also.
I got them 6-6, making a bowl.
7-5.
That's what Calhoun does.
I got them 3-1. I got them 10-2.
Woo!
Hi guys,
I could be talked into locking the under.
I'm not touching it.
How are you locking the under? The under would be 8, right? This team has won,
but those guys are all gone, dude.
10,
they lost a lot.
9-9. Look, John Lee Ellerby, averaging Eldridge, led the nation in yards per rush or thereabouts.
Yeah,
I think there's rumors that they're putting him at the fullback position to replace Brad Roberts, but I haven't confirmed that. He was in the discussion.
I just can't.
Whoever the hell got him in our draft in the fantasy draft stole him from under my nose.
I'll take the under.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
And I feel pretty damn good about it. I'm not locking it because I've given away too many fucking locks. But this is a pretty sure bet, folks. It's
a high number to lock.
Trajectory.
I'm on the over.
I'll say steady, even though these filthy rule changes.
Hard to get much better. Flat.
What are we doing on the trajectory of Fresno State, by the way?
I'm gonna say up.
Man. Up.
Yeah. All right. Now the final one: the Boise State Broncos, Taylon Green, Andy Avalos, Smurf Turf, baby. 8.5 is the win total. The non-con though. Woo. Boise, I love what you do.
They went 9-3 regular season last year.
The non-con at Washington in Seattle, home to UCF, 2 Power 5s, then home to North Dakota. Watch out for the Fighting Hawks. A lot of people saying they're going to be an FCS playoff team this year. Tommy Schuster at quarterback. Shout out to Noah Beanick. And then their fourth game is at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee on the road.
That's a tough non-conference.
That is a brutal non-conference slate.
Even if it's brutal though, I might give them 3-1.
I'll give them 3-1 too, but man, I can see 2-2.
Possible.
Yeah.
Oh, of course it's possible. I had them losing to Washington, but covering the spread, and then I had them beating UCF, Dakota, and going on the road. And like Memphis is a solid program, especially that's a tough game on the road. But Boise's just flat out better.
Away too. It's a back-to-back away. Second in on a back-to-back away. Sneaky. I'll say 3-1, but I'm a little reluctant there. Like I could totally see 2-2 here.
Here's the thing. I think catching Memphis on the second end of the back-to-back road ends up representing a 50-50 game. And I think between Washington and UCF, Washington on the road, UCF at home, that's kind of a 50-50 that they get one of those. So I think 2-2 is the record for me.
Yeah, I could totally see it. 3-1. Friday night, they're at the Snapper in conference play. Then that's week 4, by the way. Then home to San Jose State, then at Colorado State, and then they get a bye week. They're home to Wyoming. I do think they're going to lose one of those games.
Yeah, I think it could be 4-0, but they're going to trip up somewhere, especially if I'm being, if I was on their side with the first 4, let me give them one loss here. 3-1. I am at 6-2 after 8.
I'll meet you halfway because the most threatening game on that 4-game stretch seems to be the road trip to San Diego State, but they whooped their ass 35-13 last year. So I'll have them 4-0 in that stretch. We all have them what then?
We all have them the same record then of
6-2.
6-2.
Yeah.
Final stretch at Fresno State, home to New Mexico, at Utah State where they've owned them though, and home to Air Force. I think they drop one more there, maybe undefeated though, but I am on the over.
That's my 4-0 stretch. So I'm at 10-2. Over.
I think the number's right though.
3-1. I got them 9-3. I think we're all leaning over here, right?
I'm a fan of this Boise squad here. Give me the over, and you know what? Let's go out with a bang and do one more lock.
Buckham Broncos saying NC Nick. Locking up the over. Taylon Green, sophomore year. Can you avoid the sophomore slump? We saw Tyler Van Dyke hit that sophomore slump.
Phenomenally talented physically. Whether he can, is he
saying Josh Allen 2.0
or Richardson? Obviously Anthony Richardson comes to mind. Andy Avalo 7-5, 10-4. A nice jump in year 2. Can he keep the Boise State program where it was, which is 10 wins routinely? Do you think, or is he still got a lot to prove?
He's still got a lot to prove to me. I mean, he did. I thought it was great to get out of, the air raid week 3 or whatever year it was last season. Was impressed that he had the courage to pull the plug there as a guy that had never been a head coach before. Forgot to talk about Timmy Chang also is playing at his alma mater. I love this conference where you have all these guys playing at their alma mater.
Who is your team, Colby? Who is your team in the Mountain West?
Like my favorite team to root for?
Yeah.
It's probably the Wyoming Cowboys.
Ooh,
they're fun.
With Tedford, you love Tedford.
I do love Tedford too. And I love Fresno State. They do college football right.
But aren't we all big Boise fans too?
Yeah. I kind of love the whole conference. Love Hawaii.
I love Hawaii's my team. Hawaii's my team.
Yeah. I mean, who do you not like in this conference? It's really just like UNLV, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I don't think anybody dislikes UNLV. They're just there.
I dislike them after they're playing in that filthy fucking dome. I dislike them now.
They just don't. Right? Their fans don't take it serious enough. You got a bunch of strippers and
in
DJ
order to
booth.
dislike somebody, they have to be at least decent. If they just suck perennially, then you don't care.
Then you're just an asshole for disliking them.
But I kind of like every other program, right? I mean, do you really? I don't have anything against any other program.
I agree.
So let's go. I love the.
Should we recap our locks real quick?
Yes. Go for you start, buddy.
Boise State over, Wyoming over, San Diego State under, Hawaii over, UNLV under. Let's fucking go.
I am locking up Fresno State over, Wyoming over, San Jose State over, Colorado State over, and for unders under. San Diego State's 7 and UNLV's 6. Patty C.
I got Fresno on the over. I got Colorado State on the under. I got Hawaii on the over, and I got UNLV on the under. Let's talk about our best locks as a group here.
Well, no, we only had one as a group, and that was UNLV under 6, right?
Our triple lock is UNLV under 6.
That's the only triple lock.
Yeah. A lot of differences on this.
Hawaii was a double lock for Nick and I. San Diego State was a double lock for you and Nick. Colby. Wyoming was a double lock for you and Nick. Maybe I was a pussy on that one.
Yeah, maybe. You did the Patty C. Look,
and then, guys, this is gonna be.
Don't make that stick.
It's gonna be a very boring last bit. Our last tidbit or our last segment is who's in the conference championship game. The Pac-12.
I don't think that's that
it's
boring.
Gonna go chunk.
Is it? I think it is.
But hey, here's where it might get different. They might have to go to Fresno again. Like that. Normally, I feel like Tedford, whatever Boise State's stat is, like I think they have 7 losses on the Smurf turf since like 99. I think Tedford has 2 of them, and they've been in the conference championship games.
Right.
But I think this year could be in Fresno, which might give the hand to Boise.
I'm not going chalk. You guys are going chalk.
You got Air Force in there, huh?
I got Fresno and Air Force.
Ooh.
I think
Wyoming might be.
I was gonna say for me, like if I was gonna pick somebody else, like I don't trust Air Force.
Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun.
The fact that the Air Force game against Boise on the last game of the season is in Boise scares me a little bit.
I'm gonna have Boise beating Fresno though. Okay.
What about Wyoming beating Boise in? They got to go to the Smurf turf, but Taylon Green, he's still not a super polished passer. I think Wyoming's defensive line might be able to bottle up the rushing attack with Gene T and Halani, and they're gonna make Taylon Green have to throw. Now maybe he does throw and they just beat their ass, but it's interesting. But I am going Boise State at Fresno State. I think Fresno. Taking Fresno to beat Boise.
I'm taking Boise to beat Fresno. What you got, Patty?
Oh boy, I think I got Fresno beating Air Force. I think I think you guys are sleeping on the level of coach Troy Calhoun is. I think you can't chop block. Oh no, my team sucks now. I can't coach because they took the chop block rule away. No, Air Force is going to be good, but Fresno has Hefe Tedford and Mikey Keene. I think they get the home field advantage. I don't know wherever that game is played. If that is the conference championship, if it's at Air Force wins. If it's at Fresno.
Shout out to them playing the home game championship.
That's true.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Love it.
Mountain West does it right. Wish the Power Fives would listen to that. Folks, that's our show. Subscribe to the College Football Experience. Give us a follow on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Patty C's on Twitter at PattyC831. NC Nick's on Twitter at NC__NICK. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. And also make sure you give us a follow wherever podcasts can be found. Subscribe to the College Football Experience, but also check out all of our other podcasts, the FCS College Football Experience, the College Basketball Experience, which when the season tips, I'm here every single day of the season. And man, the Mountain West has been loaded in college basketball lately. Love what they're doing on the basketball front. Also check out the College Baseball Experience, the Big 12 Experience. We come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the College Experience. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast as they break down all 32 NFL teams. The SGPN app is free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. You get access to all of our content, our articles. There's a whole written side of SGPN that you're not seeing. Get the SGPN app. It's free. We're not trying to take your money. Sports game. Also Discord. Come talk about these Mountain West teams. So if you disagree with us, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. All right, folks, until next time, this is the College Football Experience Mountain West 2023 season preview episode. I cannot wait for the season. And hop on over to iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here. Run, shoot.